All right, I am live. Peace, peace and prosperity, peace and prosperity. Welcome to today's live video. I'm streaming on both of my channels today on Earth's Feminine and on my Asaya Mystic YouTube channel. This video is going to be kept and fully posted on my Earth's Feminine channel because this topic that I'm diving into, which is related to the previous topic I talked about yesterday, is all about femininity, masculinity, relationships, and what, as women, especially as a Black woman, what you should be looking for when it comes to Black men. If you were to date a Black man, if you were to be in a relationship with a Black man, these are the things that you need to be looking for. These are the qualities, right? The men that I have on my thumbnail, okay, I have 3 men on my thumbnail, um, that I have identified a plethora of different masculine, sacred masculine, divine masculine traits in who they embody publicly, what they embody publicly. And also it's just in their energy. Usually, even if, somebody's a public figure, you can tell what's in their energy. I know that I can tell what's in people's energy, what's in a man's energy, and even in a woman's energy just by looking at them, right? So for me, even if someone presents themselves to be a certain way, even if men are presenting themselves to be a certain way publicly, I've developed a level of discernment and gotten so in touch with my intuition to the point where I can just tell if you are on or if you are off. I can just tell. I have when everything came out about Diddy and how Diddy was such a horrible person and all the things he was doing, like I was like, I'm not surprised. Like I was never drawn to him. I was never drawn to that energy, that whirlpool of energy in the hip hop industry. I was always repelled by those things. I was never necessarily like hated it or anything. I just wasn't attracted to it. Something about it just didn't feel right to me. And that's why last year when everything was coming out, there was no surprises, on my end. I was not surprised by absolutely anything um that they were coming out and saying, because you can sense this energy in men just by looking at them, just by feeling into their energy. You can tell. And so for the men that are in this thumbnail versus the men who are in the previous thumbnail for my last video, okay, these are men that I have felt really, really good feelings about. These are men that actually, one of them I actually met in person. Um, Another one of them I've talked to before. Um, Not in person, but like virtually. Like their energy is what it is. You can feel it. It's authentic. It's true. It's real. So that's what I'm getting into today, about what the kinds of Black men that you need to be giving attention to, okay? The kinds of men that you should be praising, that you should be acknowledging and being like, yeah, like these are the things that I admire in masculinity. And focus on these things, focus on these traits, focus on these qualities, and let that be the center of what you understand and you recognize as Black masculinity, or the most powerful version of Black men, okay? Because after the previous video I did, I really don't like to sit in the energy of like, this is the way life is, and life is like hopeless, and Black men are horrible people and they're terrorists to our community and all of that. Okay, yeah, we talked about that. Now, like, what is the other side of the coin? Now, what are the kinds of uh, Black examples of Black masculinity that we as a collective feminine, right, as Black women, as a collective feminine, have actually birthed into this reality, right? And we can see some of it starting to come out in some Black male Black leaders that are coming out today. So the men that are in my thumbnail are the three men that I'm going to be talking about today in today's live video. Before we dive deep into it, peace to everybody coming in the chat. Peace and love, peace and prosperity. Thank you so much for being here. I'm going to post an invite link to the stream for you guys to join the stream after I get done talking about anything. If you have anything you want to come onto the stream and ask, if you have anything that you want to come onto the stream and share, you just click that link and you can come on, share, and ask whatever you want to add to the conversation or to what I'm going to be sharing with you all in today's video. So that link is there. I just posted it. Again, I'm going to be letting you guys actually into the room after I talk about what we're going to talk about today. And before we get into the nitty gritty of what we're going to talk about, so I have gone into a very deep meditation over the past few weeks. It's really come to a culmination. And last year, around this time, my focus on the Earth Feminine channel and in the Earth Feminine community was to focus on manifesting money and manifesting wealth, and for women to really understand and see how they can, how the the way that they relate to men and the way that they relate to life, it all has a direct, like, you can see your relationship with money through these two things. Okay, and that was something I was diving really deep into last spring up until like the winter of last year. And now I'm really feeling called to really dive deeper into what it means to be loved, what it means to fall in love, what it will. I know a lot of people don't like these terms, falling in love. Well, I would say a lot of women have been turned off to the subject of love, falling in love, being with a man for love. Like, all of that just sounds disgusting to the modern woman's ears. However, there's so much magic and power and potency in one soul recognizing another soul. And for women to really break the pattern, or I would say the spell that they are under, that is causing them to choose certain men, to choose certain patterns in relationships. Like, I broke down in my previous live for y'all a little bit about what I went through in my journey of dealing with toxic Black masculinity and basically having a very horrific experience becoming pregnant and giving birth and like the whole thing. I'm not going to get into that in this video, but that was something that I had to recode. Like, I had to learn and align with the frequency of love, of real and true feminine energy. And that involved me learning how to respect myself and tap into my dark feminine power. That involved me learning how to express myself and feel empowered in my emotional state, in my soft state, in my loving state, right? And this is something I had to learn how to activate and combine in order for me to be the woman that I am today. And the types of relationships that I attract, the types of men that I attract, like, is completely different, like completely different from back then, where it was just like basically I would say a struggle to feel like I was attractive, a struggle to feel like I was worthy, a struggle to feel like anyone wanted to be with me. And then when I did get that kind of attention, it was a struggle with being respected, a struggle with being honored and valued, right? So these are like these two double-edged sides of the sword when it comes to feminine energy that I've broken down before, um earlier, right? Much earlier when I first came online and decided to become a coach. And now I would just want to succinct everything down into one 3-day immersion where I am going deep into the exact things that cultivate and culminate love in your life, deep and devotional love from men in your life or the man of your life, right? And so the 3 days, so it's going to be a 3-day immersion. All right, y'all. 3-day immersion. It's going to be starting in June. I haven't picked a specific day yet, but 9 times out of 10, it's going to be the beginning of June. We're entering into Gemini season. Actually, we're actually in a Gemini new moon right now. And the Gemini new moon actually rules over the lovers in the tarot. And the lovers is about that sacred union. I've always actually looked at Gemini as an example of the twin flame union that people talk about and what the twin flame union actually means. This is actually what the twin flame union is. So now, right, in this season that I am in, I feel deeply, deeply called to share the wisdom that I have gained, to share what I have learned, and how I'm basically able to um, create deep magnetic and also um, devotional bonds with the men that come into my life. Okay. So um, I'm not currently in a committed long-term relationship. I am still dating. I love to be transparent. I mean, I could be mysterious and all that stuff, but listen, like I'm going to be fully transparent on this channel. Like I'm dating and I'm living my life and I'm having a lot of fun, and that is what I have been doing, I would say, since 2021 on and off. Okay. And since that time, the quality of men that I have attracted into my life and the things that I've been able to recognize as like, this is really what allows love to be cultivated and culminated, came into my awareness. So, anyway, 3-day immersion. If you want to learn more about it, all the details, send me a DM at Earth's Feminine. Let me know you are ready to be deeply loved. And the pre-enrollment fee is $297. So if you're interested in learning more and you want to have more info, send me a DM. If you're like, listen, I'm ready to stop attracting these men that are like literally ruining my life, I'm ready to attract a man that wants to love me the way that I deserve, that connects to my heart, that worships me, that honors me, then make sure you click the link. It's literally the first link in the description. And you can enroll into Deeply Loved. It's going to be a 3-day immersion. Okay, that took me a little minute, okay, to get past that. But all right, y'all. Let's get into this video. Okay? These are the kinds of Black men that you need to be giving your attention to, that deserve your attention, that deserve your acknowledgement, that deserve your your mental focus, okay? And um we're going to start with the biggest picture in the thumbnail, which is um Ibrahim Traore. Okay, so he just recently got extremely popular as far as I know. He recently got extremely popular. He's an African president in the country of Burkina Faso, and he is becoming extremely popular and widely recognized all around the world because of the fact that he is saying no to Western colonialization, and he is proudly and firmly standing in the energy of sovereignty for his people, for his country, and self-sufficiency. He is bringing basically power back to his people, back to the land, back to the soil, um, back to the economy, all through him, okay, living in his divine masculinity, living in his divine masculinity. So, if you guys haven't watched the video that I did on sacred masculinity and the sacred masculine archetypes, the sacred masculine planetary archetypes, definitely go watch that video when you're done with this one, because that in that video I'm basically breaking down the masculine energy present here on this planet, how the masculine energy present here on this planet is influencing us, is impacting us as women and as men, and also the distorted and aligned versions of each archetype. So that video is on my channel. You can watch it when you get a chance. Ibrahim Traore, okay, aligns like heavily with every single sacred masculine archetype as far as how he's being publicly presented, okay? And not only that, but I went ahead and looked up his birth. Well, I didn't look it up on purpose, but I Googled him, right? And I'm looking up information on him. His birthday is March 14th. Okay, so he's a Pisces man. And his name, Ibrahim, okay, if you break down the etymology of the name Ibrahim, which is something like very important to do. I mean, names are so important. Ladies, if you're having a baby, if any of you ladies watching right now are pregnant, if any of you are having a baby soon, like, let me tell you right now, what you name your child is important. So don't let nobody rush you into naming your child. Don't let anybody push you, force you, hurry you up into naming your child, because your child's name is your child's destiny. Okay? Your child's name is your child's destiny. And we as a people always knew that. Okay? But again, colonialism and a lot of other things makes us think that, oh, this isn't important. It is important. Remember what I was talking about yesterday, okay? Spell work, sorcery, witchcraft, all of that stuff. Names are a part of that. And when you are spiritually awake, when you are aware of the power of vibration, you're not going to be flimsy and frolicky with what you decide to name your child. So all of that to say, okay, make sure you take your time in naming your child. I was a little bit rushed when it came to naming my daughter, but I did give myself time, as much time as I could. I would have gave myself longer if I didn't have people rushing me, but take your time with naming your child, okay? Because this man's name literally means, Ibrahim Traore literally means father of nations. Father of nations. And the fact that he's a Pisces man, I was like, oh, this makes 100, like, this makes 100% sense. Not only is he a Pisces man, but I have a little bit of personal being able to personally relate a little bit, because my grandfather was a Pisces man. And during the Jim Crow era, my grandfather was a significant leader in the civil rights movement down in the South. I mean, everyone in the South, like surrounding areas in New Orleans, Mississippi, like all these different areas, they knew my grandfather. They loved my grandfather. They respected him. He was a prominent figure in the South. And I didn't realize just how impactful he was until he passed away. And I went to his funeral, and that thing was packed. I mean, that thing was packed. The mayor came, right? The mayor of the city was there. I'm like, dang, I didn't know Grandpa was popping like that. And it wasn't until after he passed away that I actually started meeting people serendipitously who were like, oh, I know your grandfather. Like, I remember him. Like, so my grandfather is born March 13th. That's the day before Ibrahim Traore. So when I saw his birthday, I was like, okay, this is making sense. And his name literally means father of nations. Father of nations. So when it comes to masculine energy and Black masculine energy, and what you want to look for is you want to look for men who are actively honoring the feminine, right? And again, in the video of my sacred masculine archetypes, I clearly lay that out in how in each way the masculinity honors the feminine. But you can see that this man honors the feminine through the way that he is living and doing his work and honoring his country. Okay. And definitely I see a lot of the Saturn archetype. Like, if I see anything the most, it's the Saturn archetype of the masculine that I laid out in my video. But he absolutely embodies how you should be honoring the feminine energy as a man, as a leader, as a father figure, not just to a family, but to an entire country of people. Okay, number one, you stand on business. Okay, that stubbornness of Saturn, is playing out very well. Okay, because he is standing on business in a way that honors his people, but it also honors all the other people that are involved. Okay, so Ibrahim Traore is an amazing example of Black masculinity, and as Black women, it serves us well to focus on these aspects and qualities that we are seeing right now publicly in Black masculinity as what deserves all of our attention, what deserves all of our praise and acknowledgement and love. Okay, and love. So that is key, and I'm bringing this up because in another video that I did, I think it's my how to get princess treatment in relationships with men video, I go into how your attention is so important. What you give your attention to on a day-to-day basis when it comes to men is very important. Also, if you haven't gotten the Wealthy Woman Activation Training, get that, because that is exactly like the exact steps to take in order for you to shift your day-to-day habits around how you're thinking and feeling, and overall identifying with love and relationships, also with money. Okay, you can apply that there too. So the link to that is in the description. So Ibrahim Traore, yes, definitely let those qualities that you see in Black masculinity be your focus, be your forefront of how you think and how you relate to Black masculinity. So let's see. The next Black man that I wanted to talk about is so he is extremely popular. Yada Awakening. I know that when I first started my channel back in my Earth Feminine channel back in 2023, the end of 2023, I was receiving a lot of like hate and terrorizing, harassing comments from just us, nothing but men. I mean, nothing but men was flooding my comment section, harassing me, saying a bunch of mean things, bullying me. And I'm just like, I felt like I was in the twilight zone. This was me like really not realizing just how bad the misogyny is, just period. I'm not even going to say in the Western world, because I'm just like, I don't even know where all these men are from. Like, but the misogyny, I had no idea just how ridiculous the misogyny was when I started my YouTube channel and I progressed on YouTube. And I kept going though. I kept going. I mean, it's enough to really make someone think, well, maybe this isn't for me. Maybe I should be doing something else. Maybe I should, blah, 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 blah. And I'm just like, no, like, I've got to keep going. At this time, and even previous to me starting my channel, I felt like my perspectives, I literally felt like I was like an alien, right, on the planet. Like, a lot of women weren't really resonating with what I was saying because it was like they weren't used to thinking in this way. They weren't used to thinking that they deserved things. They weren't used to thinking that what their value entailed, like, and how their value is more valuable than a man's value and how it should be appreciated. Like, there were a lot of women who didn't resonate with me, and there definitely were like no men that resonated with me. So for a while, I really felt like an alien. I'm not gonna lie. I felt like an alien. And starting my channel and seeing all of the hate, it started to get discouraging. But I actually started my Instagram page, my Earth Feminine Instagram page, and Yada Awakening was one of the first pages that came across my timeline. And so his story and the way that he lives his life, the way that he treats his wives. I mean, he has two wives. So this man has two wives. But look, listen, I don't care if you got 10 wives, if you treating them all like literal, like royalty, if you are a multimillionaire, and you are a rich man, and you just spreading your wealth and they are okay with it. Like, listen, I don't, because as some people, some women, they'll have judgment towards that. Me, listen, whatever floats your boat, whatever she's okay with, your wife is okay with it. Okay, like that's cool. Like, the thing that I respect and I appreciate is this is American Black man. This isn't a foreign Black man. He didn't grow up in another country. He didn't grow up and like now he's bringing some philosophies here, but he learned and discovered on his own. I'm sure he had a lot of inspiration around him through maybe the women in his life or other things. But from what I have discovered from his story is that this man literally was tapped into the frequency, okay? Tapped into the frequency of becoming a great man. So what does becoming a great man look like? I think that Yada Awakening is an amazing example of the journey for the average Black American man to get there, right? Like, how to get there. And the number one thing that he states and that he emphasizes and that he promotes is that his path to wealth came from him choosing to pour into the women in his life, specifically his mother and his wife. His conscious decision to pour into the women in his life, he attributes that to the reason why he is extremely blessed, extremely wealthy, and considered like, oh, this wealthy man, right? And that's the thing about poverty. And again, these are things that when I ran into Yada Awakening, these were not things that I was learning. Like I had been knew this. I had been preaching this. I have the videos on my Isaiah Mystic page from like, I mean, I've kind of scrunched down all my videos that are on that page because I have plans for that channel and that content, but I have the content, right? I have the proof basically of like, yeah, I've been saying this, but nobody really, was I hate to say it, but it's almost like when a woman says it, it's you know, it's not taken as seriously versus when it comes out of a man's mouth. For the most part. That's not necessarily the ultimate truth, but that is a pattern that I'm sure a lot of women experience of like, oh, you know, their thoughts, when you have a certain thought frame, right? A way of thinking that as a woman that the collective haven't collectively like agreed to that thought pattern, to that thought cloud. And you're the only person thinking this, right? It just takes a little bit more mental strength for you to persist in that thought and in that belief because the collective doesn't agree. So as soon as you bring it up, it gets immediately shot down. It gets immediately like, yeah, that's not what it is. It's kind of like the same the way that we think about or understand keeping your dreams a secret or keeping your visions a secret until they manifest. Kind of like the same thought pattern, except these aren't dreams and visions. These are it's just the truth, right? And I guess that is true when it comes to our dreams and visions as well, because our dreams and visions are really just a truth that we're deciding to align with. So in essence, it's all kind of the same thing, right? When you're a woman and you're following that path, especially before it's being publicly validated by a man, you're going to get a little bit more pushback before your breakthrough happens. But when I came across his channel or his Instagram page, it was like immediate validation. And not only validation, but it was confirmation for me to keep going with the message, to keep going with what I decided to do, to keep going because all men are not out of it. Okay. All men have not lost it. Okay. So some of the other things that Yada Awakening represents to me, I see his energy as a more aligned, mostly aligned with the sun energy, the aligned sun energy. That is where I see his masculinity playing out, his sacred and divine masculine energy playing out the most. Okay, so for Ibrahim, it was the aligned Saturn energy. Okay, and not the toxic expression of Saturn energy, but the aligned Saturn energy. And for Yada Awakening, it is absolutely aligned sun energy. This is king energy. Okay, for Ibrahim, it's also king energy, but more so of what is the word? If any of y'all can think of a good word that represents like masculine governance, like a good title, I guess I could say like father, right? It's heavy father energy, like this real strong father energy coming from Ibrahim. And with Yada awakening, there's this really strong sun king energy because of how well he honors the women in his life, right? So um in my sacred masculinity video, I break down how each sacred masculine archetype takes care of an aspect or an archetype of the feminine within astrology. Sorry, y'all. Let me put my phone on do not disturb. Um, okay. 0, 2, 0, 7, 8. Because it's been disturbing me for the past few minutes. um, so I talk about how each masculine planet takes care of a feminine, its feminine reciprocal. Okay, so in Yada Awakening's case, because he has very strong sun energy, I'm able to identify this because his relationship with women, because of his relationship with women. Okay, so sun energy in its healthy state honors the feminine energy of the earth. And as I've said time and time again on this channel, go back to some of my first videos, the earth is the primary feminine energy of this planet. If you're dealing with feminine energy on this planet, if you're dealing with women, like women, women's soul energy is going to be the earth's energy when it comes to energetics. I know we like to think that it's Venus and it's only Venus. It's not. It's actually never really been solely Venus. Okay, it's the earth. The earth, it has the most dominant influence. So the way that he treats the women in his life, his wife, his mother, and even in his business, he's basically serving, women in his business. I've actually been on, this is when I said I've talked to him virtually before. I've been in one of his group chats before, and that he used to hold. I don't know if he holds them anymore. Where he held these group sessions for women to basically help women heal and transmute like any traumatic energy that they're holding on to surrounding men. So with that, I'm with that experience, I'm like, yeah, he's heavy sun energy. So this is the energy that you want to focus on and look for when it comes to Black masculinity. Is he number one when it comes to Ibrahim Traore? Does he care about his people? Does he care about his people, but not just his people, but is he a grounded man that stands on business and does what he's supposed to do for his people, for himself, for his family? Is he that type of man, or is he, um, you know, by any means necessary? Is he that type of man? By any means necessary? Is he selfish? Right? Does he serve himself above his family, above his people, and prioritizes himself while his people starves, his family starves, his family doesn't have what they need? You know what I'm saying? You can see that distorted energy exemplified in men who abandon their kids, men who abandon their families, and make up every like literally stupid reason in the book for doing that. They blame the mother of their kids. Oh, she's the reason I don't do anything. She's the reason I stay away. Oh, like all of these petty excuses and petty reasons for you just being a shitty person, a shitty man, someone who cannot basically get over themselves. Like, get over yourself. You have responsibilities. Get over your stories. You have responsibilities. That is a powerful, divine masculine man who is embodied in his father archetype in that Saturn energy, which is Ibrahim Traore, right? Ibrahim Traore embodies that beautifully. Even though, I mean, I don't know if he has a wife and kids or whatever like that, but we don't really need to see that example because we see it in the way he treats his people. That's enough. Okay? That's enough. Those characteristics and qualities are naturally going to, if he has a family, if he doesn't, transfer. They're naturally going to transfer. So that's the type of energy you want to praise in your mind. You want to praise in your heart. You want to give all of your love and attention to, and know that that is the focus. Okay. So, okay. And so in the example of Yada Awakening, okay, one of the things that I love about this man and what he shows as basically what he does for his family and his women is basically he makes sure that his wife is good, like, or his wives, right? Like, I know for his first wife he does. We don't see the other one too much, but I know for his first wife she is good. That lady is well fed, well dressed. Like, he pays her what, $250,000 a year, and then he adds on $150,000 every year for every baby that she decides to have for him. Child, I'll be popping out babies every 3 months if it was possible. I would be having twins, triplets, okay? And I'll be figuring out how to do everything that I can to make sure that I literally stay healthy and fine in the meantime. In the meantime. But okay, nonetheless, that's how he treats his woman. That is aligned sun energy. When you're meeting a man and he it seems like he has an issue with giving you light, with giving you praise, with giving you shine, with giving you, like if you're dealing with men who are coming into a relationship with you just for you to dote on them and, you know, give them a bunch of attention, and it's like, okay, so what am I to you, right? Focus your energy on Black men that love women, okay? That loudly and proudly love women. Not softly, not timidly, not I'm not sure, but loudly and proudly, okay? Because that is a reflection of how well he loves himself, how well he honors himself. And that is the aligned sun energy, okay? Black men that take care of their wives, that not only take care of their wives, but spoil them, pour into them, help them to be healthier, help them to be healed, to be whole, help them to become richer, wiser. Black men that take care of their families, Black men that take care of their people, stand on business. Now, in order for that aligned energy to be fully, understood, you have to understand the dark side, right? The other side of the coin, which is why I'm letting y'all know to go watch that video. Matter of fact, I'm gonna just go ahead and find the link to that video and put it into the chat. Okay, and so the last man that I want to talk about. And like, if y'all have any examples or any men, oops, let me X out of this. If y'all have any like examples of men or any men that you can think of that embody divine masculine energy, Black men specifically that embody this divine masculine energy, then I would love to, see it in the comments. Let me know who they are in the comments down below. Um, and let me get the link to this video. All right, I'll do better just going to my channel. Getting the link. There, make it easy for you all. Okay, so the last Black man that I want to talk about, he's not super popular, he's not super famous. He is well known and he does have a following, but he's actually an artist. And I had the luxury of attending his one of his concerts or his events out here in Seattle. And I got to meet him, I got to talk to him, and that experience was such a healing experience when it comes to Black male artists and Black male musicians. Okay. All right, y'all. I have just recently recovered from a cold, so I need to blow my nose really quick. I'm gonna do that outside of the camera. So you don't have to watch my boogers. That's how y'all know I'm a real one, okay? That's how y'all know I'm a real one. Because I come on even when I'm booger nosed, okay? And I have snot in my nose and I have to blow my nose on camera. That's how y'all know. All right, so this last man that I'm going to talk about, okay? Had the pleasure of meeting him. His name is Monrovia Boy. His name is Monrovia Boy. His artist name is Monrovia Boy. And although I really wish that male artists would like stop calling themselves boys and start calling themselves men. Like that is actually something that I noticed that Black male artists do. Like they are always referencing themselves as a boy in their artist name. Burna Boy, Fire Boy. If it's not a boy, it's a kid, Whiz Kid. Or if it's not a kid, it's Little, right? They're calling themselves Little, Lil Wayne, Lil Durk, Lil Uzi. It's like what like why are y'all calling yourselves this? Like you're not little, you're not a boy, and you're not a kid. Like you're a grown ass man. I don't know if you know this, but y'all are grown ass men. So I don't know why, like if you think like a certain crowd is like interested. I don't know. But anyway, his name is Monrovia Boy. And it's possible that they're just calling themselves what they actually are. Boys. They probably just know that they not grown men. They probably know they still have the mentality of a boy. But anyway, I'm bringing Monrovia Boy up because his example as an artist was very powerful to me. And from my previous video, a lot of the men that I was talking about was artists. Okay, pretty much, I think maybe all of them. except for Shannon Sharp and Jonathan Majors. No, Jonathan Majors is technically an artist because he's an actor. But I mean, I think Shannon Sharp was one of the only people who weren't artists. So this is important. It's important for us to like look at like Black male artistry, Black male influential artistry, and the examples that they set and how it shapes us, especially when we're young, as young women. It shapes how we perceive masculinity in a very big way. And it also shapes how we perceive our own femininity, how we should be showing up as women, okay, in a very big way. That should be clear as day. Sometimes it's not, but that should be clear as day. I mean, the whole reason that women want to get BBLs, want to have a fat ass, want to like contort their bodies into looking like the next rapper's girlfriend like body, you know, is because of Black male artistry. The reason that women show up and like behave a certain way, act like groupies, the way that they act like groupies is because of Black male artistry and the way that Black men show up as artists. I mean, I was actually even having a conversation with someone that I was dating, and a Black man, okay, that I was dating, and I was actually sharing because I had just recently went to the Monrovia Boy concert, and I had such a great time. I had such a great experience witnessing the way he handled himself as an artist, that I had to share it. And I was like, wow, this was so amazing. Like, look at this like great example of Black masculinity as an artist. And the man that I was talking to was like, literally didn't believe anything that I was saying. He was like, yeah, he's probably was just looking for a bunch of girls to sleep with after the concert was over, and you know, just saying like disgusting things about him. And I was like livid because I was like, that's those other niggas. Like, that's them other men, okay? That's who you're talking about. You're talking about all them other niggas. Excuse me, all them other niggas. You talking about Future, you talking about Drake, you talking about, you know, all them lils and boys, all them other boys, all the kids, you know what I'm saying? That's who you're talking about. And matter of fact, it made me kind of look at him a little in some type of way, because I was like, let me find out if one day you have a huge influence and a huge impact on people, and girls are just throwing themselves at you. You would probably be one of the men. You would probably be one of the men to take advantage, and be a hoe. And be a hoe. You'll probably be one of those men. So I had to defend Monrovia Boy real quick, and I had to say, absolutely not. That was not my experience when I went to see him perform. Okay. Um his performance was so beautiful. Okay. His performance was so beautiful that it really made me understand the impact of um the impact of masculinity that is in tune with energy and in tune with frequencies and vibrations. Okay. Because when I went to that concert, his energy was so like peaceful and loving and soothing, But not only that, I noticed that there was a moment where he like jumped into the crowd. Um, he jumped off stage and into the crowd. And when he jumped into the crowd, it was like his aura kind of like had like, you think everybody would be jumping on top of him and everything like that, but it wasn't that type of, he doesn't make music like that, right? He makes music that heals your soul. He makes music that heals your heart. So when he came into the crowd, it was like he had this force field around him that was protecting him from, not just protecting him, but it was also just like an aura of love. Like it's like, you're going to respect my presence. Like, so there was no, oh, I'm just randomly going to run up and jump on you and hug you, or there was no, oh, I'm just going to invade your space and disrespect you as an artist, but it was just pure love and respect emanating from him. So when he came into the crowd, there was no fear. There was no, like a lot of male artists are afraid of their fan base. They're afraid of their audience. They're afraid of the people that literally listen to their music. Why are you afraid of your own audience? That is crazy to me. Why are you afraid of your own fan base? Because deep down in your soul, you know that you're wicked. You know that you're wicked. That's why. Okay? You know that something is off with who you are and what the energy that you embody. So I definitely see in his masculine energy a lot of the Jupiter sacred masculine archetype. I saw and felt a lot of that energy coming from him. Um the sacred masculinity of Jupiter, right? Because Jupiter is, I mean, he's healing, right? He is the healer. He's the sage. He's the healer. But it was like this masterfulness of energy. A little bit of also a background on him, and the reason why I think he's a great example, also so much of a great example of Black masculinity, is because he is a refugee from Liberia. When he was a small boy, when the Liberian War in Africa was going on, that war lasted for, over a decade, in the 90s and I think into the early 2000s. And it was horrible. I mean, I know a few people in Seattle. I would say a couple of men from Seattle who are a product of escaping Liberia in the Liberian War. But a lot of people died. A lot of people lost their lives. And he actually was a small boy. He lost he lost his entire family to the war. And he was adopted by these Christian missionaries in America, um, white people, of course. And they adopted him and they brought him over to America. And from there, he grew up, um, traveling to different places, but landed in, I believe, Tennessee, somewhere in Tennessee. And so he grew up basically having to, like, excuse me, y'all. I'm like holding back coughs right now. He had to heal through survivor's guilt. Basically, when you lose your entire family and you're the only one that survived, he had to grow up with that, knowing that he survived. And like, I don't know what that's like, right? I don't know what that's like, but it was pain. It was a pain that he completely transmuted into absolute magic and medicine for so many people. And his music heals so many people around, like, across the globe. He's an international artist at this point, and it is soul reviving, the music that he makes, the healing that his music brings. And his art actually has a purpose, a very powerful purpose, and that is to heal people, right? Who have been through traumatic experiences like what he's been through, and also to contribute and give back to um refugees and people, communities who are going through what he went through as a child. Okay, that is Jupiter, the sacred masculinity of Jupiter at its finest. That's what I saw. That's what I saw. And when I met him, his energy was so peaceful. It was so easy. It was so, open. I've met artists before. I've met Black male artists before. And I'm going to be honest, like, there's usually always something that feels just a tad bit inauthentic. And when I say inauthentic, like, somewhere in the interaction, it feels like they're more concerned with you buying something from the table or buying something from their stand, right? Or you making sure you sign up for the list, or them making sure that they're getting something out of you as a fan. That's not a good feeling, okay? Even if it's not um as blatant and as bold as artists, Black male artists, just totally not wanting to be around their fan base or thinking like that their fan base is like something that they need to protect themselves from. It was a breath of fresh air. Honestly, it was, because it felt like this man truly just cares about his fans. He cares about connecting to the people that have taken the time to support him and to connect with him. That's why he's here. So it was a beautiful experience going to this concert. And if you all haven't heard of him or any of the men that I have mentioned in this live video, absolutely make sure that you look them up. I'm going to start making it a point to add videos and stuff to my live streams, just so y'all can be able to see visuals of what I'm talking about. Yeah, visuals of what I'm talking about. So yeah. I haven't really figured out StreamYard fully just yet, but anyways, so now's the time if anybody wants to come on to the live and share something, share their thoughts, if you have any questions about anything that I have described in this video, now's the time. The link is, I don't know if it's pinned. Let me see if it's pinned. I'm going to pin it real quick if it's not. But I'm sure y'all can see it. There's not much going on in the chat. So yeah, the link is listed in the description. Once again, if you are ready to step into what it means to be deeply loved, deeply, fully, and wholly loved, what it means to love yourself, but also receive that love from masculine energy, and in the pattern of you attracting relationships with men that break you down and start to attract men that build you up, pour into you, and devote themselves to you as they should, then this 3-day immersion is for you. So if you are interested in that, you can DM me at Earth Feminine on my Instagram, or the link is right down below. It's listed as the first link. You can sign up at the pre-enrollment fee. It is going to be going up probably within the next week or so. So now is your chance to snag your spot and be a part of the 3-day immersion. So yeah, let's see if there's anything else that I wanted to mention. I do want to talk about how Monrovia Boy embodies that sacred masculine archetype of Jupiter and how it honors the feminine reciprocal of that planet, okay, which is Neptune. Okay, the feminine reciprocal of Jupiter is Neptune. And this is why I said the energy, okay? The energy that it's like he's in harmony with the energy of life. And Neptune represents, as feminine energy, Neptune represents spirituality. It represents the unseen world. It represents um the what can be ushered into being without force or like like force and pushing things, right? Neptune is like God, right? It's like the God essence, the goddess essence. And Neptune's feminine energy is what makes life magical, is what makes life, gives life wonder. And his energy absolutely honors that aspect of feminine energy because he's using music to create different realities. And one of the biggest things about what he shared in his story is that he realized just how powerful music was, and just how powerful his like pursuing music would be, because the war that took place in Liberia was ended by women. By women. The war in Liberia was ended by the women of Liberia who decided to come together and to sing. They decided to come together and sing what they were singing, how they were singing, the music that they were singing. I don't know the details, but all I know is they had the intention of singing that war to its end, and they did it. And that's how the War of Liberia ended. So he decided to take that and live by it. Live by it. And it's just such a beautiful example of how he honors that aspect of feminine energy and how it has rewarded him, okay, significantly rewarded him. So yeah, in the case of Ibrahim Traore, the Saturn's archetype honors the reciprocal feminine energy of the moon. The moon represents life. It represents not just life, but bloodlines, heritage, ancestry, families. That's what the moon represents. The feminine energy of a people is found in the mother. The mother, right, who gives birth to nations. If you're a father of nations, which is what his name literally means, then that means that you also know how to honor the mother of nations. And that is what he represents. So all of these examples of Black masculinity, this is what should be at the forefront of your mind as, if I'm going to be with a Black man, this is exactly how he's going to be, how he's going to live, and honor the sacredness of our relationship, our sacred union. This is how it's going to look. This is how it's going to happen. So I'm actually just wondering if I can screen share, because if I can screen share some videos, slides and PDF video file. Oh, interesting. Okay, I'm going to play with this later. I'm not going to play with it now, but definitely for my next live streams, I'm going to have some like visuals in here for you guys to be able to look at, so my lives can be a little bit more engaging. Okay. So this is your last chance. The link is in the description if you want to come on and ask any questions or share anything. If not, I'm going to get ready to hop off of this live stream. Remember to enroll into Deeply Loved, the 3-day immersion that I'm going to be getting started with in the beginning of June. And let me know what you think about this video. I would love to know your comments. Oh, and also, I definitely was like meaning to shout out one of the women in my comments on my previous video in this video, but you know what? I'm going to do it in my next one because I completely it left my mind, but I did pin that comment on my previous video. It was like a really amazing epiphany that one of my loyal subscribers came to, because I've seen her several times before on my other videos, about what's happening to Black men and the masculinity within Black men, and how they have really just been, you know, manipulated through different energy, spell casting, and all these things, to, I would say, self-destruct, you know. So Black masculinity is beautiful, is powerful, it's astounding. However, I'm never gonna sit there and lie and pretend and act like, you know, I'm not seeing what I'm seeing when I'm witnessing toxicity in the Black community when it comes to Black men. I'm just not. You know, I had to grow up with it. I was, you know, I suffered from it in many different ways. And I say no more. I say no more. I'm over it. So I'm not interested in making anyone feel good about themselves, feel like, you know, oh yeah, you know, because um I had one man, and this is a message to any of the men who watch me and watch my channel. If you're coming onto my channel, you need to just be a student and act like a student. Be a good student, act like a student, okay? Because you're coming here to learn. You're not coming here to tell me nothing about myself. Excuse me? This is not your channel. And a lot of men, like I said earlier in my video, you all are coming onto my channel acting like you own me, acting like you reserve the right to tell me what I should be doing, to tell me what I should be thinking, to tell me what's good for me, what's not good for me. First of all, I don't know you. I don't know you. Like, at least build a relationship with me via the channel. At least, you know, be a consistent subscriber so I know that you've been learning, so I know that you've been listening. At least mention some things, like be a good student before you come up on my channel and start popping off at the mouth, okay? Because I don't care who you say you are. I don't care if you say you're super spiritual. I don't care if you know, whatever your accolades are, whatever you've done in the past, I just don't know you. Like, this is the internet. You are nothing but a little bubble with a name next to it. Like, build a relationship before you start popping off at the mouth. And even if you do pop off at the mouth in my comments, okay, I will check you. And if you get disrespectful, you will be banned. That's just it. Okay. I'm not dealing with it anymore. I dealt with it previously on my other channel. You know, these crazy, dusty, deranged men coming into my comments acting like I'm their daughter. I don't know you, and I'm a grown woman. So coming in the comments telling me if I want to see Black men, making radical change, I should stop getting off a lot. I should get off of the internet and do stuff in the real world. Like, I just don't have time. I don't have time for any man coming onto this channel being an idiot. I don't. Okay. And if you haven't been told you're an idiot, you're an idiot. Come to this channel ready to learn. Come to this channel humble. I don't want to see no ego unless you actually have earned the right to have an ego with me on this channel. But other than that, if you haven't, then you haven't. Okay? There are men that have been subscribed to me that have earned their right to give me feedback and to tell me, "Oh, I think this. Oh, I think that." They earn that right. You weirdos come onto my channel thinking that y'all could just that y'all I don't really know what be going through y'all mind, but yeah, y'all could just wrap that up. We're not doing that over here anymore. Um it's played out. And to everyone else who comments and has commented and shared your stories, I appreciate you so much. For those of you that resonate and have connected with everything that I have shared, I love you so much. It doesn't matter if you are a man or a woman coming onto this channel, though this channel is specifically for women. I do understand that a lot of men are craving awakening as well. So you're going to find my channel and you're going to come across this information. Do so humbly and willing to realize that you are probably misogynistic and you need to de-misogynize yourself. And you can just start off by just listening and not feeling the need to argue or say something or say something silly. Ask questions. Even if you're triggered and you don't like what I'm saying, ask questions. It's horrible to have to explain this, but if I have to explain it, I have to explain it. Be willing to learn, be willing to receive, because on this channel, I am the mother, okay? I am the mother goddess here on this channel. So you're going to respect me, and that's just that. All right, y'all. I had to do that real quick. N1 says, for sure, I come to learn. Okay, N1. I didn't know you were a guy. Are you a guy, N1? I don't be knowing. Unless there's a name or a picture. I don't know. Okay, so last chance. If anybody wants to click the link, ask a question, say something, share something, there it is. If not, I'm gonna get ready to hop off. Anyone says, yeah, absolutely, I'm a guy. Oh, okay, I didn't know that. I didn't know that at all. It's good to know who's a guy and who's a woman, because I'm just gonna automatically assume that it's women coming into the chat. That's interesting. That must have been why you were afraid to get on this to click the link yesterday and get on and be invited onto the stream. I'm just guessing that must have been why you were nervous about that. Now it's all making sense. Now it's all making sense. I would have been surprised if you came on here and you were a guy. I would have been like, whoa, I didn't know that. I didn't know that. Okay. So since you are one of my guy subscribers, if you want to share with me how long you have been subscribed for, and what you have learned since being on this channel, that would be beautiful. I would love to hear. I would love to hear some feedback. Because I know I have a handful of men on this channel. Some of them just, they just watch. They just watch me. Some of them, I get on their nerves. I aggravate them a little bit, but they watch me anyway. They watch me because they know that I'm telling the truth. Okay, yesterday I wanted to close out the video by doing like card pulls. I do like I used to do readings. For those of you who don't know, before I was a Saya the Creatrix here on Earth Feminine, I was a Saya Mystic. Okay. And I did readings. I did online readings and things like that, personal psychic readings for people, mostly women, sometimes men. So I'm just gonna end this live stream with a card pull, and a message for everyone to take away. Child, these cards are literally like, okay, I need one card to pop out, and I need it to pop out on my skirt, not on the floor. All right, let's see. What is the energy of today's live video? What do my subscribers need to know about today's topic and the expression of masculinity that I've explained or detailed? Should I even be using this deck or another deck? Because the cards are popping out, but they're popping out on the floor. All right. Okay, so I got the 5 of Cups. The 5 of Cups is the energy of today's live session. So the 5 of Cups talks about loss, regret, disappointment. It can indicate a focus on negative aspects of life, things that were supposed to happen that didn't happen. This card specifically says clinging to the past. So I think for a lot of us, collectively as Black women, and even as a Black community, we have clung to, we're clinging on to the hurt when it comes to Black men. And we're clinging on to the pains that Black men have put us through. And to come out of 5 of Cups energy is to just let it go. Let go of the old experience, the past, right? There's a quote that I came across recently, and it said, if you go to the past, I mean, you could live in the past. It's only that there's no one there, right? There's no one there anymore. The only people that are there are basically like, they don't exist anymore, right? It's like in a way, it's like communing with the dead, living in the past. That's what it's like. There's no life there anymore. So, what is the energy moving forward that my audience should know, that my audience should take on and embody? Okay. Starlight. Don't slow down manifestation through hesitation or worry. Keep the faith and create light in the dark. The path of stars is made by the same energy. Starlight. So, in essence, don't hesitate and don't worry about that old stuff anymore. Keep the faith. And really, that's what this live video really is, why I did it in the first place. Because I want the women who watch this channel, who love Black men, who date Black men, to not feel like all is lost, right? The light is still there. There is still beautiful things ahead. And just like these men that I've mentioned in this video, it's like little starlights, right? They're little stars in the sky that we can look at, that we can see, and that we can follow and know that love is here. And the more that we focus on the traits that we desire and know our dominant forms of masculinity, the more that we begin to create that experience for ourselves and for the collective. And I may do a video on like how that even works, but N1 says, I'm still learning. For me, it's all about self-improvement. I want to be the best version of myself for my future women. And that is a beautiful thing. That is a beautiful thing. Well, thank you for being here. Thank you for being an active member in the comments. And I hope to keep seeing you so that you can keep learning. And when you feel like your journey is up with learning, you can start really embodying everything, and everything will come together, I'm sure. So I believe in you, and I will see you all in my next video. Peace.